The time has come. Let's talk about the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie directed by David Blue Garcia. This one stars Sarah Yarkin as Melody. She's off to Harlow, Texas with her friends Dante and Ruth, where they plan to kick off a new business endeavor, turning the rundown town into a haven for young adults looking to get out of the big city. Reluctantly along for that ride is Melody's sister, Lila, who's played by Elsie Fisher. Pretty much the second they arrive in town, they act like entitled kids, overstep, and also unknowingly anger Leatherface, who turns their big day into a total bloodbath. A lot of you know that I went into this movie with a whole lot of skepticism. I've been reading up about the behind-the-scenes challenges. I was lukewarm on the marketing material I saw. I questioned some of the quotes the filmmakers gave leading up to the release of the film, and then also, this franchise, like many others out there, just doesn't have the best track record with sequels. But now, I'm happy to report that I quite enjoyed the movie. For me, this new Texas Chainsaw scratched the surface level itches. Basically, when it comes to being a movie about an unsuspecting group of kids coming face to face with Leatherface, I really think this one gets the job done. All right, first now with the cast. I found the sister connection between Yarkin and Fisher served as a pretty powerful core to the film. I was rooting for both of them to survive as individuals, but then also I found myself very, very concerned about their survival for each other, which is a very important part of the film. I was also a very big fan of Jacob Latimore going into this Texas Chainsaw movie, and he didn't disappoint here. He's very quick to establish Dante's passion and determination for what they're trying to do in Harlow, and those very clear intentions prove to be effective motivation for all the decisions he makes, whether they are good or bad. As for Nell Hudson, who plays Ruth, I'm not going to tell you that's the meatiest character in the bunch. In fact, I don't think I can name a single defining quality about her, but Hudson's natural screen presence really shines big time in an especially violent set piece in the film. And really, there are a lot of standout set pieces and also gore artistry in this movie. And really, now that I'm doing a little play-by-play in my mind, I think just about every attack and kill scene in Texas Chainsaw 2022 is pretty well executed. There's one scene in particular that I thought might have been a miss, a moment that kind of made me wonder, is that it? But then there was more to it, and the more just looked so good. Also, if you've seen the trailers for the movie, you've already caught a glimpse of the bus scene, and yeah, that was a pretty big standout for me in the full feature. It is just brutal. The setting is hugely unnerving, and then also I just loved how the colors and the lighting there popped. Another thing I really appreciated about the scares in this new Texas Chainsaw movie is the fact that Garcia actually took his time with some of them. And that's a quality that I've kind of come to expect less and less with Texas Chainsaw movies. And, maybe that's largely due to the fact that Leatherface attacks brutally rather than stalks, but I was just really happy to see a nice handful of tension-building moments here. Garcia has a cast who can very much handle them. They're a refreshing change of pace, and then they also allow for more character-focused beats, and a few of them even go to Leatherface. As for the mythology featured in this film, I do have questions, and there are certain ideas that I really do wish they spent more time on and fleshed out a little further. But again, as far as the movie being a super bloody ride, they worked well enough when it came to jump-starting Leatherface's latest killing spree. The Sally Hardesty material, however, is noticeably thin, and also just to clarify, that is not a spoiler, it's all over the marketing campaign. I do respect the choice to bring her back, and I kind of liked what they were at least trying to do by connecting her to the new batch of victims, but it does wind up being one of the weaker elements of the movie, and I just think Sally needed more backstory and more screen time. My biggest problem with this new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, however, is how it addresses certain themes, particularly the way it goes about incorporating gun violence in the story. Full disclosure here, I did recently interview producer Fede Alvarez, and I asked him about this particular part of the movie, and he told me it was their intention to confuse viewers and not present it in a black and white manner. Basically, he said they wanted to avoid saying there is this theme, there's two sides to it, these people are wrong and these people are right, because that's not how the world works. And, yeah, I kind of see what they were going for in that respect, but if that is the point that they're trying to make, I almost think that they needed to push it even harder. Because ultimately, what it felt like to me was that the gun violence storyline was shoehorned in. It didn't fully connect to everything else in a way that raises those questions. And in turn, it just made that whole part of the movie not sit right with me at all in the end. So yeah, that did take me out of the movie every now and then. And it was something I found impossible to make enough sense of. But I'm still going to give this Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie 3 Deweys out of 5 on the Dewey Decimovie scale. Thematically, this movie is very, very weak and totally misguided, but when it comes to Leatherface, going from set piece to set piece, those moments were well acted, well shot, well paced, and also absolutely loaded with expertly crafted gore and violence. I've watched the movie twice at this point, and I would watch it all over again for those set pieces alone. So there it is. Those are my thoughts on the brand new Texas Chainsaw movie that you can catch on Netflix. If and when you do see it for yourself, you know what to do. Hit that comment section below. Please tell me what you think about this one. I have a feeling there's going to be a very interesting discussion around this one. All right, before I let you go, we've got a Patreon shout out going to one of my top tier members who also is a horror genre pro, and that individual is a name you know. It's Ian Wilder. Ian, I had a feeling you would want to claim this review. As always, my friend, thank you so much for your support. I love talking horror movies with you and anything. You rock, my friend. Big thanks to everybody out there for watching this review. Please like and share it before you leave, and I'll see you soon with more of them.